Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. This is a long way from a bingo, but I can sort the rack out fairly easily with whip. Well, not bad. I have the J for score and the A goes quite well with it. And Jag and Jap are good. Whip takes an S and a T after it. I've also got Jaw onto the W, which will score about 30 points. None of these plays are going to leave great rack leaves, although a GHS after Jap is not too bad. I can't see any good parallel plays to whip with this rack. Hadge is also good, HAJ. So on the board as it stands at the moment, probably Jaw would be my preference. Not a great rack lead, keeping GH and P. Just looking to see if Hadge plays on this board, and it doesn't. Walking, nice-ish play for my opponent. 21 points. So what has he provided for my J? K takes nothing in front of it as a two-letter word. I've got Jack, but that places the J over the double word square. Not great. But 28 points. I've got Hadji for the same score. That's looking better. Now, does walking take an S? I think it does. It doesn't. So I don't need to worry about that. I thought for a moment I had the play there with Ganja, but it doesn't get doubled. It does sort the rack out, but it places the A underneath this double letter square, so I don't think it's better than Hadji. I've got Jaga on my rack. There are no good J plays parallel to walking or parallel to whip, so I think this is the best I've seen. Hadji for 28. Pretty good. G and P don't go well together, but this looks quite a nice rack. I think pillage is maybe good. Pillages possibly. Do I have an alternative bingo? G doesn't look too promising. Now, what about pelages? Because whips is good. Yes, pelages is good. That would play in column 10. And hopefully my opponent will be drawn to Hadji and leave that spot alone. Any other bingos? I might as well check pillages while I'm at it. No, not good. Okay. So, is there an anagram of that which is good? I felt fairly confident about that. Well, not that I can see. So at the moment it's just pelages. So Romano for my opponent, leaving pelages alone. Has he provided anything new? Nothing goes in front of Romano, so I don't think so. Pelages for 83. Now, this looks interesting. I do have the over prefix. But do I have a bingo? Is over bald good? No, it's not. Overbled? I don't think so. I've also got the eye. Can't see anything with that. But it's a balanced rack. There are no duplicates. I've got Beloved through the E of Pelagia's. And I have a 70-point lead, which will vanish if my opponent bingos. But this isn't a wide open board. Pelagia's and Whips has restricted access to the bottom right. Romano and Hadji has choked up the bottom left, and Whips and Walking has choked up the top left. So really the action is going to be through Pelagia's or extending this ladder down, and Vina ends the ladder because nothing goes after the V. So do I play Beloved? It's going to score well, it's going to sort the rack out, but it's also going to open up column 15. Maybe a parallel play would be better. I've got a 40-point lead. So I was going to say I had Vold, but LE not good. Otherwise that, I think, would have been the play. But do I have a bingo here? Let me think about the floaters. And do I have an alternative spot for the V apart from within over? Drovable, not good. Now, let me see what Beloved scores. 32 points, that's good. How dangerous is D in third place? Not massively. High-scoring tiles can go on this double letter square, but not as easily as if the D had been a vowel. So am I going for this? What about a play through the L? Vold, for example. 26 points, keeping BLR. That provides a very nice set of vowels to score highly off. I was thinking about Volar, but I don't have the A. I've got Beevor on my rack, nowhere for that. I think I do want to play around Pelagia's. I have Bravoed. Now, what about Overbad? 52 points, which is huge. Well, let me just play this because if it's good, I think it... Okay, it's not good. But is there a double-double which is good? Verbal doesn't quite work. Bravoed isn't doubled twice. So over plus BLD. Okay, Bravoed is the anagram of overbad. I'm going back to Beloved. Beloved for 32. Well, not great. They're bingo-y tiles, but only the A is a vowel and 2 pairs of duplicates and no scoring tiles. I can't see any bingos with this rack. Just looking at the floaters on the board. The G looks promising, but I'm not seeing anything with that. My opponent may be distracted by column 15. But if he is, what can I do? What can I score with this rack? I've got a pretty slender lead, which will vanish if my opponent bingos. He doesn't, but he gets 27 points. So, okay, I've got a 50-point lead. I'd like to leave myself with a decent rack lead, which means playing off LAR or LARN. Can't see a way of doing that. Now I could play Allen, which keeps the duplicate R. Not great. Do I have something beginning with the K? Well, Nulls. 20 points. I don't want to burn my S so cheaply. The trouble with playing through A or O is the score's going to be tiny. So what about a play through the L? Look at that rack lead, horrendous. So where can LAR play regardless of score? Well, this has some merit. Oral, 8 points. It stops a good score through the A and interferes with the floating O and V, and the rack leaves okay. I'm going with this. Pretty good. I've got in so far. That plays in column 14, making id. Does it play anywhere else? Top left of the board really choked up. It looks like it needs a play onto the A or the G to open that. Now I've got IN for ING. Onto an E, I would have Farinos. Now, insofar also plays next to the L of oral. I don't think it has an anagram. Can't see anything with the K. What about the U? Well, opponent's gone there. Just wondering if I had infusoria, and I don't. So insofar, and I think this is the best place. 77 points. Great. That is a nice looking rack. It's not a bingo rack, but I've got the X, which is a great scoring tile, and the rest of the tiles on the rack really complement it. A ton of short words available here. I just need the board to have a nice X spot. In terms of longer words, I have exonym on my rack. Should that be playable? That doesn't play either side of insofar. Insofar takes nothing after it. Just wondering then if I had a bingo onto the A, beginning Zeno. I don't think I do. I'm thinking of something, but whatever I'm thinking of, I don't have the tiles for it. Just looking again for exonym through any of these floaters in insofar. Can't see it. I've got ox and oxy on my rack. It's not a great board generally for opportunities. The whole of the top left and the bottom left providing pretty slim pickings. Great, only 22 points for my opponent. Now, do I have a nice X play to score well and choke up the bottom of the board? For a start, do I have anything EXE? I have Oxeye, but that doesn't get tripled. I have XEN, but I can't see any 5-letter plays. Can't see any EXE plays. Mexi, Nexi, Texi, Yexi. Nothing is working there. What about in column 13? Do I have anything which places the X at the bottom? 12 minutes on my clock. Time X, not good. Well, how annoying. Maybe I certainly don't need to play the X straight away. Now, on to a T, I would have textonym. No floating T's available, which is a shame. Now, what about a play in row M, placing the X underneath the E? Let me just see what that looks like. So my E could go underneath the F. I can see that I have tax. That leaves money. Quite a good rack leave. Do I have something better? I'm pretty sure I'm missing something here. This doesn't feel great, but it's certainly not a bad play. What about a play down here? Armor is good. Gel is good, but Mex isn't. LOM. Nope, that isn't working out. Well, I'm keeping the M for the next turn, so maybe I can play then. So tax for 33. Not great. But what do I have with... Great, only 27 points for my opponents. I've now got a 100-point lead on a pretty choked board, and if I play in column 11, I will be choking it to death. So, can I do that? Yes, I can. I can play men. Whoa, hold on. Do I have moneying? Yes. Wow. Nearly missed that. Moneying for 66. Invalid. Okay, moneyed is good. I guess it's just an adjective. What a shame. I thought that was good. Is there an anagram? I don't think so. So let me go back to plan A. Men. 26 points, which is a good score, but even better, I'm taking out the A and the G, and I am providing nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. This is a dead board. Bang. So I've got a 140-point lead, and this board represents absolute misery for my opponent. There's no way back. 12 minutes on his clock, 12 minutes for him to stew, 7 on mine. And this is a good rack for me. It's balanced. I've got the Y for score. And I'm sure I can eke out a 20-point play somewhere on this board. Nice score for my opponent. So, I've got the S for making Romanos. How many S's left? Still 1 and both blanks. So, do I have a play in column 8? I'm 100 points in the lead. So I'd like to keep scoring 20-odd points. 7 minutes on my clock, 22 tiles to come. Can't see a play down here apart from something like sty, which is going to leave a lot of vowels. So where can my Y play? And I'd like to play off one of the I's. I've got Yoni, and Yoni's on my rack. Well, tricky. I've got toy, but that's keeping double I. £19, pretty good on a tight board. But the rack leave is asking for trouble. And I'd quite like to play off one more tile or more tiles to get hold of some of these blanks. Now, column 9 is actually a bingo lane through this P. I don't think Pinosity is good. 5 minutes on my clock, so I don't want to get into time trouble. So what about playing Pointy? It scores 16 points, which is pretty good. The rack leave is good. I'm taking out a bingo lane and I'm providing nothing. And I'm turning over tiles to increase my chances of drawing one of the blanks. I dodged both of them. Through an E, I would have Sedulity. Can't see a 7 on this rack. The board looking even more choked. Pointy taking out the Romana hook, so denying access to this triple word square. The triple letter square next to the I, really not dangerous. It can't be used to score twice. My lead is 110 points. And I've drawn the second Y. This is a balanced rack. I don't have a bingo if there isn't a floating E that I can see. Row O might provide a 30 or 40 point play. Amma takes an H, but both H's have gone, so maybe not. Column 14 through the E of Beloved also available. But I could be struggling for a few turns with this rack, especially with my shortage of time, just because the board is so tight. If I drew the N, I would have undotted. 30 points, pretty good. Now, my Y can make Yid, so that might be my play. Well, except I'm struggling to see any play. Opponent goes there, fine. He scores 7 points, and that's just a reflection on the board. Or in Yex 21, and I played that fairly quickly because of time, and the play felt right. It scored well. It took out a scoring spot for my opponent. It provided nothing. Bingo-y-ish rack, although I can't see any 7s or 8s with it. But it's a moot point on a board with no floaters at all. This is one of the tightest looking boards I can remember seeing. Now, Red J is available for plays through UR and I. I think we could see the scores slowing down a bit. Column 14 still available with this floating E. Tempting to go there. I could play Sal. There may be a play with my U next to the T. It would be nice to get rid of that U. It's not doing anything, and there is one more to come. Just looking at the bottom left to see if there's any way of opening the board up for my opponent. Can't see anything. Curly is good, C-U-R-L-I. That provides nothing. 7 points. It's not essential I get hold of the blanks, because even if my opponent has both blanks, he's not going to bingo. Well, I guess row D, ending AL, is available. And I can't take that out. I don't have a vowel for going next to the L. No, I think Lyman is good. Well, I can't see a player dealing with that, so there is a bingo lane. Opponent does play, does burn both blanks. He's still 50 points behind. 7 tiles in the bag, including the Z. So, what do I have? In terms of floaters for bingos, there's just the P and the U. Can't see anything there. Given my lead is about 50 points, I just need to outscore my opponent and not provide anything massive for the Z. And probably turn over tiles to increase my chances of drawing the Z and to expedite the end of the game. The obvious place to play is parallel to Pubertal. My I can go underneath the B. Well, I'm not seeing a play through that. Well, I've got Tid. Z's good, but that's not going to score very much. 20 points is a good score. So I'm going with this. Great, I draw the Z, which stops my opponent scoring with it. I've got was on my rack, so was, Utu and Biz. That would be quite nice, should it remain available. Do I have a play in column 14 with the Z? So I have a lead of about 70 points, 4 tiles in the bag. Remaining tiles pretty bingo-y, so opponent could have a bingo through UT. Not sure there's a whole lot else available, possibly a bingo through the P. Very unlikely. But I'm in reasonable shape to survive a bingo. So what do I have apart from was and cuz in row F? I haven't seen anything through the E of beloved. Now that's pretty annoying. Opponent has taken my spot, which means I have to think. I've got Zells and Scut. Don't want to do that. 3 minutes on my clock. Cut takes an E. So I could play Qs, but I'd quite like to get rid of the Z since we're so close to the end of the game. I could play Zell, although it's not great keeping the W and the U. Maybe I should concentrate on getting rid of those fast. 2 minutes on my clock. 1 tile in the bag. If it's an N, I've got undotted. Just looking around for any Z spots I've overlooked. So I have Les. 35 points, that's a pretty good score. I'm going with this. Oh, and I draw the N and I've blocked undotted. Oh well. That's not a massive disaster. I'm 90 points in the lead. And I think even being cognizant of blocking undotted, I would still have played Les for the score. Now, what to do with this rack? I can see what my opponent's got. He's got 6 vowels and an S. Pretty hopeless. So, he may have an out in 2, in which case I only have one go. And it's going to be pretty tricky to find anything to play on this board. I have wens and cuts. News in the same spot for the same score. Scoot is good, so that play still goes. Opponent's got double IO, so I don't think he's going out in one. So I'm actually going to have 2 goes. So if I play news, that would leave CU. Can I go out with CU somewhere on this board, or can I go out in 2 places with it? Not sure I can. 1 minute on my clock. So cutes is good. And that's not better than row B. So all I've seen at the moment is row B. Is there an alternative to wens? So what about Qs? Keeping NW. Do I have anywhere to go out with NW? Not sure I do. So what am I missing? $40 seconds on my clock. Q's for 19, so I've got N and W. 1 not good. AENO not good, otherwise I would have had win. I do have spots for the W. I have WAE. And I spotted another one earlier. I didn't think about putting my C in front of E's. And that's no longer available. Okay, so I can't go out with W and N. 10 seconds on my clock. Probably not optimal. And opponent's just got his eye to go out. So, the final score. 356 to my opponent, 428 to me. A winning margin of 72 points. So, pretty good game. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast. I played whip. And I could have played whips for 10 more points. Not much between those. Opponent plays walking. Now, jasp I didn't consider. F10. Jasp and whips. Quite nice. I thought about ganja. Didn't like the A underneath the double letter square. Played hadji for 28. So, hadji for 28 versus jasp for 42. 14-point difference. S worth 8 to 9. Probably not a huge amount between those plays. Opponent's rack plays Romano, which was a nice spot. And then I have Pelagius for 83, which put me in the lead. And opponent's got Q and V. Fantastic. What does he do here? Plays Vina. Lovebird. There is a bingo. Well done if you spotted that. I didn't see it. Lovebird, that was the alternative prefix for the V. It wasn't just over. There was love as well. Lovebird. Okay, and then beloved, the second choice. Opponent plays dotted. And I struggled here. Look at these scores, dismal, but Arrant E10. I think I would have played that if I'd seen it. The rack leave, pretty good. I played oral, which was, well, the score isn't far off Arrant. But I think Arrant probably the play. Opponent plays her, and that's great for me. I have in so far. Opponent still got his cue. Plays 5. Now, Mixo, K9. Mixo and off. I didn't see that. And a nice rack leave. Instead, I played tax for 33. Okay, so I don't think there's a huge amount between those plays. I thought the best play was going to be significantly better than tax, and it isn't. Opponent plays chi. And I try moneying. It comes off. And I play men for 26, keeping Yoni. Yeah, I think that compares quite favourably to everything else. Moni E13. Okay, Moni Am and Yid. Quite nice. Wow, opponent has probated H9. Ah, down from the P. So there were bingo lanes on this board, down from the P and onto the L. It wasn't quite as choked up as I thought it was. But anyway, opponent doesn't spot that or chooses not to play it. Plays X'd. I've still got a 100-point lead. And I play Pointy for 16. Opponent's rack. He plays Dithery, E7. Now that is really nice. Because, well, is it? It's quite nice because it takes out row D, but it's providing a floating D and I, so in terms of bingo lane taking out, I'm not sure it's the best. What did I do? I played DX for 21, keeping Dilsut. Yeah, that's quite comparable, I think. Dithery having the advantage of turning over tiles with 2 blanks unseen. But they're both on my opponent's rack, and he has a choice of bingos in the spot he played. My rack. What did I do here? I played Tid for 20. That's fine. Opponent plays Cog. Now, I play Les, and I could have played Les's for 14 more points. But look at that rack leave, CUW. E and S do provide flexibility. Opponent plays E's. And now I was looking for an out in 2. I didn't find one. But is this one? Cusp and Skog. Keeping New. New and When. Just looking around to see if they play anywhere. I can't see anywhere for them to play. So possibly there is no out in 2. I play Q's. Opponent plays Oi. I play Wei for 6, but Yao M9. Yao also available for available for 3 more points, so would have been a better play. And that was the end of the game. So super locked up board. Not totally locked up. They rarely are, and a great bingo spot by my opponent with Pubertal. But I had already established a good enough lead to survive that without it providing too much of a scare, and I ran out a comfortable winner. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.